Karmelo Anthony's family is also talking tonight. They believe the trial was unfair.
I didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was defending himself.
What would you do if your child was facing decades behind bars? That's the heartbreaking question that unfolded inside a Texas courtroom when Karmelo Anthony's mother took the stand and begged the jury for mercy. Moments earlier, the jury had convicted Anthony of murder in the death of Austin Metcalf. Then came an emotional plea from a mother who said she still loved her son and believed he was remorseful. But while some viewers saw a grieving parent, others argued that justice for the victim had to come first. New York Post +1. Stay with me because the courtroom reactions, the family's response, and the public backlash created one of the most discussed moments of the entire trial. Let's start with the facts. Karmelo Anthony was convicted of murder in connection with the fatal stabbing of Austin Metcalf during a Texas high school track meet. Prosecutors argued that Anthony escalated the confrontation and used deadly force when it wasn't justified. The defense maintained that Anthony acted in self-defense. Ultimately, the jury rejected that argument and returned a guilty verdict. New York Post +1. The verdict immediately shifted the focus toward sentencing. And that's when one of the most emotional moments of the trial occurred. Anthony's mother took the stand and pleaded with jurors to show mercy. She reportedly told the court that her son was sorry and asked the jury to consider his future as they weighed his punishment. TMZ.com +1. For many watching, it was a reminder that criminal cases impact multiple families, not only the victim's family, but also the family of the person convicted. But not everyone viewed the testimony the same way. Witnesses described an emotional atmosphere as Anthony's mother fought back tears while addressing the jury. The question facing jurors was enormous. Would they focus primarily on the loss suffered by Austin Metcalf's family? Or would they also consider the possibility of redemption and rehabilitation for a young defendant? The mother's testimony became one of the defining images of the sentencing phase. Supporters viewed it as a mother's unconditional love. Critics argued that the focus should remain on the victim and the irreversible loss suffered by his family. New York Post +1. Regardless of where people stood, the emotional weight of the moment was impossible to ignore. And then came the sentencing decision. After deliberations, Anthony received a 35-year prison sentence. The punishment was significant, but reactions were divided. Some people felt the sentence was appropriate given the circumstances. Others believed it should have been longer. Meanwhile, Anthony's family expressed disappointment and continued to maintain that he had not received a fair outcome. Reports indicate that his parents later spoke publicly about their belief that the trial was unjust and that they intended to continue fighting through the appeals process. New York Post +2. The victim's family, however, described profound grief and frustration. Austin Metcalf's father delivered emotional remarks in court, speaking directly about the devastating impact of losing his son. New York Post. And that's where this story becomes larger than a single verdict. Across social media, reactions exploded. Some people focused on the conviction itself. Others focused on race, fairness, and the legal process. The result was a deeply polarized conversation that extended far beyond the courtroom. Supporters of Anthony questioned aspects of the trial and sentencing. Others argued that the jury carefully considered the evidence and reached its conclusion based on testimony and facts presented during the proceedings. New York Post +1. What makes this case so emotionally powerful is that people are looking at the same events and reaching very different conclusions. Yet nearly everyone agrees on one thing. A young life was lost, and multiple families will carry the consequences forever. The image many people will remember isn't necessarily the verdict. It may be the sight of a mother pleading for mercy while facing the reality that her son's future had changed forever. Whether viewers sympathize with her, disagree with her, or feel conflicted, the moment captured the human emotions that exist inside nearly every courtroom tragedy. Justice, accountability, grief, forgiveness, punishment. These aren't simple issues. And this case forced people to confront all of them at once. What do you think? Should the jury's sentence have been longer? Was the mother's plea something every parent would make? Or do you believe the focus should remain entirely on the victim and his family? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. If you found this breakdown informative, subscribe for more in-depth coverage of major legal cases and courtroom developments. And remember, Discussions like these are most valuable when people focus on facts, evidence, and respectful dialogue. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.